But I'm not going to lie. I feel a little cold in here, Sean, without my Texans starter jacket on. I feel like I'm not celebrating the victory and the vibes as much as I could without my Texans starter jacket and without my battle red sunglasses.
Yeah, no. I mean, but it does speak to, this was the Texans against the Cardinals took care of business, Paul. That's why you're wearing a suit.
That's right.
I really wish I could say it was a business trip, but it was a home game.
But it was a business trip.
This week's also a home game. It was a business trip to NRG Park. That's what it was.
Sean, just like every game is the biggest game of the season, and just like every day is the biggest day of your life, every day is also a business trip. People don't understand that hustle mindset like I do. And right. I mean, it's why I'm one of the biggest hustle influencers in Houston, because people listen to me for advice. Like, ignore your alarm clock 37 times before you finally get up for alarm number 38, and maybe feed your pet in the morning, but sometimes forget just to keep them guessing. Because, they got to go out and approach every single day like it's a business day as well. And maybe you set the coffee machine the night before, but it's even better for you to wait until the absolute last minute to set the coffee machine that has an automatic starter for you. So, that this is how it's done. Every day's a business trip, and approach every single day the same way you would going to work. Where you don't want to, probably.
A hungry cat runs faster.
It does run faster. That's for sure, Sean Mapes behind the glass. See? Just giving advice here. OG from H-Town comments, is this gay politician cosplay? Again, no one should be assuming anyone's sexuality in 2023.
Now, Congressman Galan, what were you doing in that truck stop?
Well, I do declare.
I just have a wide stance. I'm sorry.
Listen, I went to that truck stop. I did not stop for any philandering, as you have suggested right here. I went merely because I wanted to get some of those Buc-ee's pecan nuts in my mouth. I just wanted to get all the nuts, and I just wanted to put them right in my mouth.
Some glazed nuts.
Well, I love glazed nuts. Who doesn't love a fresh pair of glazed nuts? But more than a pair when you're talking about pecans. In fact, you just want all of the pecan nuts you can have in your mouth. You just get a bowl in both your cheeks, and you just puff them out like that. Sean's laughing. I don't know why you're laughing. I'm just talking about pecan nuts at a Buc-ee's. I have a question for you guys, because honestly, you people, I said you people, you guys have some explaining to do. NRG Stadium. I mean, they just beat the Bengals. Joe Burrow didn't get hurt against the Texans. He got hurt against the Ravens in Thursday Night Football. Or maybe he was hurt going into the game. Whatever the case, they just beat the Bengals. And I get it. It's the Cardinals. But that stadium, considering how well the Texans have been playing of late, did feel a little empty. And I don't know if this is just a Houston thing where people show up late, or if the tailgate food also had like their own version of just nuts, where everyone was just stuffing nuts in their cheeks in the parking lot. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that was happening. What I do know is that the vibes aren't quite where they need to be. I think some of the other stations in town have had debates about, should you go to the game early? Listen, noon is early. Noon is early on a Sunday. I did make it. I got there, sat down in time despite going to the Renaissance Festival on Saturday and getting absolutely lit, and then staying out until 4 a.m. chasing a absolutely terrible woman to Bauhaus. Like I did those things. I did them, and I still showed up. I still showed up on time. What's your excuse? What's your excuse? Yeah, I'm still behaving like a child, and I'm still showing up to the game on time. Sean, you didn't even go to the game. What's up with that?
No, I didn't.
What's up with that?
Sorry. I got to be better. And I won't be able to go to this game because I'll be out of town. But
you know what? I'm flying back early from seeing my family, who I only get to see like twice a year, so I could go watch Texans Jaguars. I'm in it to win it, baby. Where are you guys? Are we going to show up? No? Oh, why's that? What do you got better to do on a Sunday morning?
See my family?
Family? Come on. There's only one family. And you heard D'Amico Ryans talk about it.
It's the one that swarms.
Yeah. It's the swarming family. look, there were MVP chants in the middle of yesterday's game. That was nice. I feel like J.J. Watt might have had that in 2015. I looked up tweets by me because I've been to pretty much every single game at NRG Stadium outside of in 2020 and 2021.
Humble brag.
What? I mean, your boy's been covering the team for a while. I think there might have been a time in 2015 where they were doing MVP chants for J.J. Watt. And I feel like I grumpily tweeted about it. MVP chants, please. It's a different me, a less positive me, a less happy and fulfilled me. But after the game, C.J. Stroud was asked about those MVP chants. And yet again, here he is. He's got to beg you people to show up on time.
I really didn't hear it, but I appreciate it. But yeah, it's cool. Hopefully, man, I keep playing good and keep putting wins together, and that's definitely in my goals, not only for this year, but I mean for every year. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm focused on one play, one game at a time, and knowing how people are so wishy-washy, I don't know if I'm still in that race. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, but nah, man, I think this game, man, it's the testament of who is gonna not blink and who's gonna just keep going. And for me, I mean, that's how kind of the adversity that I've been dealt, not only in my football career but in life. So I'm gonna just keep going, man. And I think I put another great performance together. Was blessed enough to have a great game throwing the ball, but of course, got to eliminate the turnovers. But I appreciate the fans doing that, and appreciate them, man. We're gonna need them for sure next week. Like, Jacksonville's a great team, playing them twice, and it's hard to beat a team twice. So we got to bring our A game, and their energy that definitely helps.
Have you guys noticed what the Texans are posting on social media before these games because they know you're going to show up late? And again, if you want to show up late, show up fashionably late. We do live in a region of the South. I do declare it is much better for me to show up about 15 to 20 minutes into the game. That way I know what the vibe of the party is. But the Texans are posting on social media these PSAs that make it seem like it's going to be tough to get into the stadium. And I think they said, oh, there's a lot of construction around the stadium. If there was, I didn't notice it. Because again, I left for the stadium a lot later than I ideally would have liked to, thanks to the Renaissance Festival and Bauhaus extravaganza. You know? It's one of those things that seems to be a Houston thing, as brought up by a couple of commenters here. Willie C100 is blaming church. If the Texans had a late game, people would show up. Well, they do have a 3:00 game against the Broncos coming up. What else do we have here? Lone Ranger 614 says, thought about going, but the traffic getting out is bad. Okay, like, maybe, but is this more a Houston thing? Showing up late because the Astros had this problem too? Or is this just NFL games aren't that fun to watch in person?
Oh, that is true. That is, going to a game earlier this year, you are like, wow, I just missed. I mean, I got to watch this one, got to watch the J.J. Watt retirement ceremony. And then by the time I get home, it's halftime of all the afternoon games. And you're like, cool, sick. It is a tough thing. I feel like a primetime game would be a little bit more fun just because of the lack of FOMO. But even then, it's still like,
I don't know, man. I don't trust people to show up on time.
It's still like a football, like, I don't know. There is a little bit of a football problem where it is like so much better now at home to watch. Not just
you don't have to wear pants.
Not just the noon
great.
Slate, but also like any game. Any game is better. Yeah, and yeah,
I'm not going to get assaulted by somebody. I mean, there are definitely perks to staying at home. And not to say that assaults happen at Texans games. I didn't see any brawls go viral this time around, so that's nice. That's cool.
I will say, though, you asking is showing up late like a Houston thing. In my lifetime, I have such a low percentage of showing up like before the national anthem. Like I always come in and it's always like maybe 5 minutes into the game. Just like personally, I'm bad at it.
That is a problem.
Yes,
and you have to be better.
You know what? I am from Houston, so
but you're
shrug emoji.
Sean, you're a reflection of me, and we need you to show up slightly on time.
Slightly on time.
Slightly on time. You know, just like I show up here at 9:55 a.m. every day, or just like I show up at NRG Stadium at 11:56 every Sunday.
Yeah.
like we still need to get here on time.
I need to show up early enough to where
I'm not being Tom Coughlin here. I'm not saying that
that's what the Texans need to do.
It needs to be 5 minutes before 15 minutes, which is 20 minutes early. I'm not doing that. But clearly, whatever the Texans are trying is not working, and it's weird because they're winning and playing well, and it's a watchable, fun product for a change. And someone commented, "Hey, like that actually was the fullest and loudest the stadium's been in years." With Texans fans, sure, no doubt. Still, though, you would have thought this would be the game. Maybe it's going to be on Sunday against the Jaguars, who are in first place. It is a battle for first place. I don't know, though, because it is the Jaguars. Like, the Jaguars are low-key boring.
It's also, 2 days after Thanksgiving or 3 days after Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it should be fine. It should be fine.
It's
not like a college football game where you're like, well, all the students are back home. Like, there enough people have Thanksgiving in Houston to where they should be able to also go to a game 3 days later. But
Yeah.
it is the Jags, and the Jags are kind of boring. Low key,
High key. They're high key boring.
high key. Wow,
They're
are they
high-key
low key
boring.
mid?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're 7-3, and they just beat the hell out of the Titans on Sunday. But I mean,
Yeah, I think they're low key mid.
yeah, low key mid, not high key.
No.
High key.
They're still the record's still the record, but they're low key kind of
That's
mid.
true. You are what your record is.
Bill Parcells,
Mm-hmm.
shout out.
Shout out to Bill Parcells. Dr. Dre on 290 suggests crowd noise, pumping in crowd noise. Let's do that. Honestly, let's do it. Why not?